Hey everybody, I'm here with Mark from StorageMart and Manhattan Mini Storage. Now, Mark, you guys have completely revamped and really ran with your third-party management. Can you talk a little bit about that and kind of the edge that people can have while working with StorageMart as a third-party partner?
Yeah, definitely. We talk to a lot of people throughout the whole country. We use Radius a lot to help owners decide, if this is a good project. We look at new ones. We look at existing properties. Radius is also a tool that we use in our existing portfolio to see maybe if new supply has came about. We get email notifications from Radius. We recently implemented that we drew a radius around a lot of our properties, and if a new property is in development or maybe it just opened, we'll get a notification. And so that's been really helpful.
No, you guys are great partners, and thank you for being on the platform. How have you and your team navigated such a complex revenue management market? With ECRIs making it very confusing to track demand in self-storage now, how have your team approached this kind of complex issue?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to be out there in the industry today and compete with a lot of what's going on, and a lot of it is dictated by the market, and so pricing. You do have to pay attention to all your competitors. Especially in a lease-up property, you have to pay attention to everybody. Using Radius is a big part of what we do on the third-party side and on the acquisition side. It's a very useful tool, and especially in Canada now that because StorageMart is a large operator up in Canada.
Awesome. If you had to say one major difference between the Canadian market and the US market, what really stands out to you as a difference between those two geographies?
Yeah, I mean, recently Canada's really outperformed the US. I think a lot of it has to do because of supply. In the US, I entered the storage industry back in 2019, and we were looking at a lot of properties that were in the single digit rental rate area. And we're starting to see that again, here in 2025 going into 2026. And so, it's been COVID kind of really brought a lot of owners kind of out of that area in the single digit realm, and reverting back to that today. It's just an interesting scenario. I mean, a lot of properties back in 2019 were roughly 40, 50, 60% occupied, had been open for 3 or 4 years, and they were getting $8, $9 a foot in rental rates. And as I said, we're seeing that again today. So there might be, some opportunities. We've seen a lot of interest in bridge loans recently, and also too on the management side of things.
No, Mark, I think you nailed it. This could be a really interesting next couple of quarters as we see this overcorrection from what you talked about, kind of like this COVID boom. And now with demand subsiding, let's just see how this all shakes out.
Sounds good to me.